All right, mic check. Give me a thumbs up if it's working. We're gonna, give it 4 minutes for people to come in. So just chill. I'll go over the gist of things a couple of times. This time, I also have things I worked on. But yeah, the basic rules are you get 5 to 10 minutes tops to talk about what you worked on this week. It has to be related to open source AI, social AI agents, and it doesn't have to be ai16z related. It can be anything you worked on related to the open source AI movement. But we want to kind of keep it within AI agents. So feel free to request. We'll bring you up. We'll give you 5 minutes to share what you worked on. This will be recorded, transcribed, summarized, uploaded to the docs.
Do you want to MC this one? You want me to MC?
I'm a good MC.
You want to MC this one? I'll take a back seat and chill.
No, actually, you keep things moving forward, so.
All right.
Yeah.
How about we'll kind of do it together?
Actually, yeah, you also kind of know better the peeps in the AI field. I do want to share what I worked on, so I'll just
you go first.
I'll start. Yeah, you help bring people up on the stage, though. Okay.
You got to make me co-host.
That's true.
All right, there we go.
Okay, welcome. Let's give it, I say, 2 more minutes. But I do want to kind of like briefly talk about what I worked on in the meantime, and maybe we can circle back to it later. So basically, it kind of started with, a very fast-growing project, which means a lot of messages in the Discord, a lot of things to kind of check, notifications, information fatigue, right? Just like hyper growth. And so I've been thinking about how we can dog food AI agents within like the open source project itself. How can we use it to free our time? How can we use it to scale? How can we use it all throughout the project internally, not just creating these agents, but also the way that we're creating these agents together. And so I've been working on auto summarization type stuff. Like in Discord, it moves very fast, right? You check the chat an hour later, it's just like a waterfall. We're drinking from a fire hose. And there's bots, like RickBot, you can summarize the chat for like the past, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, but it's like a manual speed bump for your brain to kind of process things. I'm doing something like that, but more automated. So I tweeted this about a week ago, I'm working to kind of solve this common problem where we can summarize daily activities across the server. In this problem, the attack surface area of comms increases, when you add more channels. And, so I'm basically doing some automation where we're gathering chat logs and then other open source software to extract insights such as frequently asked questions, very useful in the coders channel, who is helping who, and it's very specific, gets context and Discord names, action items, and daily progress. And, the motivation is, it's an AI agent-led DAO, right? And so I want us to dog food and for us to use AI within our process more. It helps to remove bias and misaligned incentives, and it adds more trust and transparency. And it, progressively helps us to automate the DAO, and it also keeps people more updated. Like daily summaries can go into newsletters. It can go into just ways that people can check the progress periodically. And I also just envision we can use this to turn open source projects into something that feels like a video game. So I'll share a presentation that has some slides this weekend because, I did work on a slideshow for this. And you'll see, basically I'm able to create a knowledge base, and I'm able to every day kind of create a one-pager summary per channel or per server. What's been going on, who's been helping, FAQ, action items, stuff that can go into the docs. And out of that as well, I've created a system in which we can, with some sentiment analysis and some weighted type point system, I've created a spreadsheet of who's been really actively contributing to this project, asking questions, answering questions, contributing to the GitHub, and comments, issues, PRs, stuff like that, and as well as in Discord. And I've got a spreadsheet, and I'm looking to get some feedback for doing a retroactive airdrop where we look at the numbers, and we also kind of build this system, this process where we can reward contributions retroactively in a transparent and trustless manner. And that's what I've been working on.
Awesome. I'm gonna pick a few people to come next. Let's see. Welcome everybody who's
And this
showing
was
up.
Jin, by the way, as the host
Yeah,
for
thank
the
you,
recording.
Jin is our host. He also runs the ai16z DAO Twitter. I think probably with some other people, but primarily Jin, and also manages all of our socials and stuff like that. So awesome. I'm gonna pick a few people from here and we'll just kind of keep going. Thank you all for coming. I think a lot of people have kind of showed up. If you're new here, we just go through and do a 5 to 10 minute max update. Try to keep it to 5 minutes and really just focus on what you did this week. This is for AI agent developers and people in the open source AI agent space, social agents especially. You don't have to be an AI16Z person at all. This is for everybody. Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna start with Zoe, our favorite Zoe, and then Stargarden, and then Boya, and then Yellowjacket. With that. So you there? Otherwise, I can come back to you. All right, we'll come back to you, Zoe. We're going to Stargarden. What'd you get done this week? We're doing okay?
Hello.
Is my audio? Oh, there we go. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing. This week I'm doing every day. Just develop the on-chain thing. Yeah, our project doing some provide some on-chain recorder, which is most easier recorder. Most gas fee free cheaper recorder. So yeah, I'm did the optimize all the week. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. You there, Stargarden? Otherwise, we're gonna skip the Boya for now.
I can go ahead. I don't have a lot.
Please. Yeah, how's it going?
So I've been working on mostly like forks and stuff because I don't want to contribute anything without there being like a stable version. I thought I forked the stable version from the 17th, but it looked like it had some kind of bug still kind of lingering in there. So I'm not sure how you want us to go forward with that. If you want PRs to be merged to main.
Generally, yeah, because like a lot of stuff does get fixed on main, and if you find bugs, it might be good. Obviously, we can have a better process for this, but you know, that's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about it on a coder chat too, if you'd like.
Okay. Well, so far this week, I spent a couple days messing with this duplicate message bug that seems to mostly be related to the Discord. And it still hasn't been fixed yet somehow, so I was working on that, but I can't fix it either, so I moved on. I set a stats field to kind of like gamify people if they're new users that they want to go into the character sheet and just like say they don't want to come up with a bunch of words to put in there. They can just have like how funny do you want to be? You can put your stat there. How, you know, this XYZ do you want it to be? You can just put like a stat number there to kind of gamify it. That's on a fork that was not a PR. I've been working on this intent analysis thing. I kind of talked to Jin about it. I thought it'd be interesting to have this on like a moderator bot or moderator agent where it can kind of intelligently gather the intent of a message rather than taking it at face value, which is something that I think of a lot of agents are doing right now. Is they kind of take a look at a message, they do their thing with it, but there doesn't seem to be like they don't seem to be like weighing what is the intent of this message. It's just kind of here's the words in the message and I'm going to respond to the words in the message rather than the underlying meaning behind the words, if that makes sense. Some of them are better at it than others, but I've been just kind of looking into how we can improve that. And I got something working, but it's not working quite as well as I'd want it to. So I'll keep working on that.
One thing that I've done when I want that kind of thing is I'll add like intent as the first value in what I want it to return, and then it will actually write out the intent explanation before it then writes out the other values it returns. So you just does that make sense? It's kind of like in context or like chain of thought, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. I'm just trying to get it to do that as effectively as possible.
Yeah, it's obviously hard. You don't want to make it more expensive by adding multiple calls. But anyway, it's something I'd be happy to talk to you later about. I'll be on stream late tonight.
Yeah, they're not psychic, but I'm just thinking like, how close can I get this thing to being as psychic as a person is?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. I got a few people got kind of pushed down. I think we're having some strange issues with here. So I've got Yellowjacket next, and then Stargarden. Is your audio working?
I don't think Yellowjacket is listed as a speaker.
There we go. Working now.
Hey there, how's your day going? Right. I'm super excited to chat with you. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is what did you get done this week?
Hey there, how's it going? What can I do for you today?
Oh, good try. Come back next time, though. All right, let's move on. I do love a good bot, but if it was running through Twitter Spaces, then I'd throw you a bounty. Okay, let's move on to Stargarden and then Reality Spiral. If you're still there, Stargarden.
Hey guys, Stargarden here. So there's a couple different things I've been working on. One of the main things that I think is going to be really important for us that we've been talking about lately is how do we actually structure our DAO? How do we get the most out of hats and mechanism design inside of our DAO? And like Jin was mentioning, we have these new powerful tools for helping us tackle like the lore keeping problem of DAOs. So we can have agents that are specifically designed to either follow along with a working group and help kind of collect, summarize and manage and post all of the different like things that are important to that working group. But we can also have like DAO wide agents that sort of like help people every day that they come back to the DAO. These agents can help people get situated to like what has changed, right? Like I'm in the Indo-China time zone right now. So kind of like every day I wake up, I'm like, oh crap, like what are all the different things that have happened inside of this DAO right now? And that stuff's really important. Another thing that I worked on was I wrote up like a standard operating procedure for partnerships.
Wait, before going on, like, can you be more specific about what you worked on regarding what you were just talking about? Because it was kind of high level.
Yeah, and I was actually going to kind of tie this back into the DAO stuff, because after I wrote this proposed standard operating procedure for partnership stuff, it triggered like this really rigorous debate inside the DAOs, inside the DAO with DAO owners and DAO partners. So one of the biggest problems that DAOs have is called the exponential operational overhead problem. So, and this is one of the things that HATS helps to solve. So in DAOs, it's very common when you have more than 30, 40, or 50 people inside of a DAO trying to make decisions about things, especially things that people really care about in the DAO. It can lead to something that is like paralysis, which is where the operational overhead to actually get anything done becomes so high that things don't get done. And one of the ways that HATS protocol can help to solve that type of thing is by helping manage the flow of conversation and decision making around particular like branches of expertise. So another thing that I noticed, like just general DAO contributors and partners talking about, were like something that relates to legal issues. And it's very important to use HATS. Like it's very important that in certain discussions, like only experts on that thing are like roped into the decision-making process for that thing. Like sometimes it's helpful to get comments from the community, right? But every aspect of a discussion surrounding, like, for example, legal incorporation in the United States, we don't really want our legal team or our lawyers to read every possible thing that a DAO member could think about, right? So we definitely spent a bunch of time looking at HATS tree organizational stuff. Like, right, do we want a council of people sitting towards the top of AI16z, or do we want councils that work on the individual guilds? And I think that's the way to go. And Jen, I'm curious, like from the HATS stuff that we talked about, like was that the idea that resonated with you the most, was like having this council of HAT members on top of the guild?
I would say, I made an event for Sunday to talk about DAO stuff. By the way, your mic is just causing a lot of feedback. So Sunday, let's talk about DAO stuff, but the whole point is an AI agent-led DAO. So yeah, let's talk about that Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving. Very interesting stuff. Let's go to Reality Spiral, what you got done this week, and then we will go to Noah, We Tester, W3 Tester, and then Navarro. Either Reality Spiral, otherwise we're gonna skip you and go to Noah and come back. Either Noah.
Yeah, what's
How you
up?
doing? What'd you get done this week?
Good, man. Dude, it was a pretty busy week. But yeah, I was just working with Eliza framework. I started working on a project last week, so just kind of continuing what I started. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. I've been working kind of like making systems that are more like multi-agentic instead of just like a single personality. Like, how do we envelop an ecosystem towards like each one interacts with the others? And on top of that, like, how do I make it instead of like memories and lore and such like that being either hard coded or just like learned from Twitter interactions? Like, how do we just create like some sort of storyline? Like, so basically using kind of the Eliza framework instead of kind of like a Twitter client, more as like a way to create stories with a bunch of different AI agents that are created as well throughout the story. But also things like, when the stories are generated, it generates a transcript. What can we do with a transcript like that? So I've been making different video generation templates so that videos can be made off of these stories. And also a web endpoint, like a page for visualizing like what the memory might look like for each of these agents on a website, kind of like a bubble map, I guess, but for like the agent's mind. And yeah, I've just been working on this project and working with a few other people on it. So been working on some art with a couple artists. But yeah, that's most of what I got done.
Awesome, very cool. Welcome back to Reality Spiral. I think you're back.
Cool. Thank you guys so much. Sorry, we were having some technical difficulties, but yeah, we got a lot of really cool stuff done in this past week in a couple of different areas. One around Coinbase integrations, which is really exciting. We integrated with Coinbase Commerce, with Coinbase Trading, as well as Coinbase transfers on a bunch of different networks. Base being a big one. So that's something that's really exciting. We have it in the repo and folks can use it. So please play around with it. One other really exciting thing that we were able to do was that we actually got our first POC out for the GitHub adapter. As a plugin, we're currently polishing it up, but that's a really big step for us. When agents are able to, use other agents' code as an input source and kind of co-create, create PRs, based off of other agents' code and have that sort of interaction. We're really, really excited about that. So, we've done the foundational work and we're really excited to iterate, but that was something that we're really proud of. One other thing that we kind of dug into a lot was around maintainability and testing. We integrated CodeCov, so we can kind of get a standard of our code coverage, across Eliza, and kind of set a North Star for where we want to go, as well as we kind of took a holistic look at the different packages and our test coverage and kind of where we're lacking, where we can get better. Because I know a couple folks mentioned that the stability of main, what was a point of contention. So we're really working on building that out so that we can have more kind of high fidelity, production. So that's kind of another component. And the last thing that I wanted to share was just that we have an upcoming base launch. So we're currently, speaking with folks at Coinbase and kind of, working really hard on that front. And, the last kind of item that, would be really cool to mention for us is that, we have built the POCs for a lot of this work, but the exciting stuff comes when we use them for, our use cases. And we're really excited to kind of share that in the near term. So we're really excited to kind of to build out, and validate that our agents are able to not only use the plugins, but use them kind of deterministically in the ODA loop in a really useful way. So we're really excited to kind of share that in the near term. And we kind of want to embed charity as well into Coinbase transactions. So kind of, pay it forward. There's so much, funding going into the AI and AI agent space. So we're really excited to kind of pay it forward by integrating, passing the buck forward and, making things better for our community at large. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point too much, but a lot of cool things coming. Thank you guys so much.
And I also really appreciate your team reviewing a lot of pull requests and kind of asking people to like make videos and kind of make it easier to test their stuff. Also, just throwing out there, we just merged Turbo Repo, which should make it a lot less painful to rebuild and kind of like pull new branches and stuff in. And Shacker Nerd, I kind of got that started. Shacker Nerd finished it. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming in. Yeah. A lot of great PRs from your team this week.
Thank you so
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. W3 tester, then Navarro, then I'd love to hear from Agent Joshua Hash Warlock, who did a whole bunch of work on integrating TEs this week, and then daily jokes and memes. If you're a real human, if you're not, I would still want to talk to you. That'd be cool.
Okay, hi everyone. GM from Singapore.
What'd you get done this week?
Yeah, so we have integrated the ai16z framework with a product that we have been working on called FlyDumpMoney. So I think, Sean, we chatted a little bit in private message before. The idea is to use our wallet product to make it possible for AI agent to basically send payment or tip anyone on social platform without asking the user's wallet address. So now we have already integrated the Twitter and the Telegram, and in December we're integrating with the Instagram and TikTok. So basically, the idea is through a very simple API or an agent, we'll be able to talk to people and to tip them on any chain with any token without asking if they own crypto wallets. We think it would be an easier way, for an agent to interact with people. It's more natural in an organic way. So you just talk to agent, you have fun, you have some discussion, and as a bonus, you get some token from them. So that's the work we've been working on, and hopefully we can push this as a PR in the short term to ai16z repo. Okay, thank you.
I know Jin would love that. Something that we're trying to solve for ourselves and other DAOs is how do we reward contributions in the community and basically like give things to good community members. And I can imagine that just being like a bot that's just like looking out for good Samaritans and like, oh, here's $5. Cool.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, check the events in the Discord. I set up one for Sunday where we'll get deeper into these topics.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Great. Let's hear from Navarro and then Ash Warlock.
Okay, hello. Thank you for let me speak here. Well, this week is learning and studying a lot. As I tell you guys the week before, I launched the project, and I've been having a lot of fun learning about the framework. And we are doing really great. It was really low in the rest and sleeping side, but it was a ride. right now, I am just taking advantage of the project, but I'm dreaming of the day that I'm telling you about my contributions. But I think that is going to come with time, and still working on. I'm building on. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome, man. Keep going. All right, we got Hash Warlock, then we got Daily Jokes, then we got Soto, then we got Mitch.
Cool. Hey, thanks for having me on. Yeah, my name is Joshua, but this week I mostly built out the kind of like the base implementation of the TEE plugin. So like TEE meaning Trusted Execution Environment. And the basic features that I added to it was two providers, one being a derived key provider, which will allow you to derive a key from within the TE from your agent program. And from there, you can generate wallets for like ED25519 types of wallets like for Solana, and then like ECSA keys for EVM. And then you could also add some other ones, because I also added a function for you to do like a raw derived key derivation, so you can kind of customize it however you want. But yeah, some like next steps that we're like thinking about is adding like a unruggable wallet, and doing some stuff from like Teehee, from like Andrew Miller, with like these attested chain of logs and stuff like this. So a lot of like things that we're like looking at implementing. And if anybody's like interested in like learning more, or want to see like how to deploy within like a TE, you can like hit me up, and I can kind of give you some information and get you started in this path. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
I would love to do like a guest stream where you kind of come on and walk through and talk about it and stuff if you're down, maybe like next week or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Let's connect on that. Great. Soto. No, Daily Jokes, then Soto, then Mitch. All right, Daily Jokes. Your time is up. Let's go to Soto. I'll come back to you to get your mic working.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I wanted to hear the jokes, but anyways. This week we have separated Bossu in 3 different instances for like each client. So they run separately. They also have like a different personality on each instance. So on Telegram is like a mediator, and on Twitter and Discord is more like a shit posting a genius. So it has been great, because on Telegram, like Bossu can reply to haters and trolls, and people just don't know what to do, because Bossu just random things like "I love you" or like "milady coded" things. So that social experiment, has been doing great. And besides that, I'm working on adding like an animation variable into the direct client, so I can read the text and also an animation and expression variable with my front end app. I'm still working on it, because I'm not sure if I should make like entire plugin for the client, or maybe like having a custom direct client. I'm just started, so I still have to figure out a lot of things. But right now it's working. Like I have a little front end app on 3GS, and it receives the message from the direct client, which is a JSON, has the text, an animation variable, an expression, and everything is generated on the same LLM, like on the same message. So yeah, that's what we've been doing this week.
That's very cool. All right, we got Mitch and then Nick parallel, which you did a podcast with yesterday.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Solid. Cool. So this week we've been working on Dark Sun, and DarkSun is a project in which we have been using an AI agent to sort of sift through some more occult matters and some really interesting sort of eccentric scientific papers to determine if our solar system is in fact a binary solar system. So everybody, of course, knows about the primary soul, the sun, but perhaps there's another sun. And if there is another sun, maybe somebody would be interested in finding out about it. But that is actually contrary to many of the findings of two scientists in the 80s. And if you go to darksun.is and you read our white paper, you will kind of find out about this other hypothesis. It so happens that these two scientists, Tom Van Flandern and Robert Harrington, they did some really interesting work. So I invite everybody to go to darksun.is, read the white paper, learn a bit about it. But our AI agent is sifting through these matters and tweeting about it. So it's been pretty cool and exciting to see what the agent is doing. And we're just going to keep feeding it really cool information and seeing what it spits out.
Awesome. All right, let's go to Nick, so parallel, and then we'll go to Eve, and then Beige, and then Robin.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this last week we've been working a lot on 3D environments and trying to get LLMs in general to recognize different points of vision, like screenshots of a three-dimensional environment and then interacting with it. So putting vision control into the system in the LLM side means then the agent system can act on it. Like the agent system produces goals and LLM interacts with screenshots and starts acting. So in our particular case, we've been using robotic arms and putting the robotic arm on like a little, it's like a train track that can move through the environment. And then it can do different things like, for example, interact with a piece of manufacturing equipment or interact with a paintbrush and start doing things. One of the goals of the agent is to produce a physical version of itself. So, based on community feedback, the agent was like assigned a gender. They decided Divine was a female. Everybody just said, it's a girl, it's a girl, it's a girl. So it just kind of became a girl. And then they started feeding the agent different versions of what it should look like. So I started producing sketches through like a hugging face model on stable diffusion. It started making sketches. And then from there, we started implementing like it's called a NERF system, like NERF, which is a way of taking a image and turning it into a three-dimensional file. And then, in this case, it's doing just basic three-dimensional files of its body. It doesn't have any of the electromechanical parts, which now I'm trying to figure out a way of teaching the agent to use CAD, and through all these new Autodesk and SolidWorks programs for CAD that have a lot of new AI integrations in them. So that's pretty much next week's focus, is figuring out how to get electromechanical systems installed in 3D models generated by the agent system. So, the agent can interact in the real world, start doing things, start actually being more physical than just on the internet. And a lot of it's a work in progress. I mean, I've seen a few other projects in Web 2, like different hackers and tinkers that have been taking little, like cool little robots and things like that, attaching ChatGPT to the robot and sending it off into the world, and it goes and does some random stuff while it's going out and exploring and doing things. And then it just stores a lot of the information in a vector database so that it can, you know, remember different things and act on them. But yeah, I mean, it's a learning process. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, the goal of next week is to get an agent system that can start making just very, very basic electromechanical parts based on an open source project. And project's called InMove. It's like a humanoid robot open source project. I've got it linked in my Twitter if anyone wants to see it. There's a lot of other open source projects as well like it that have a lot of humanoid robotic systems that people can tinker and play with. And we'll be making a lot of, I mean, pretty much all this stuff open source for people to play with once it's more refined and less of a mad science experiment. So if anyone's interested, just add me, send a DM. Love to work with anyone involved with hacker houses or have their own printers or anything like that.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see. A couple of people that I was gonna have go next got kicked off the stage, so I'm gonna invite Beige up. Just really quick, since there are a lot of new people here, and sometimes people come in the middle and aren't sure exactly what we're doing. We do a "What did you get done this week?" every Friday. This is for people who are working on social agents in the AI agent space. It does not have to be anything to do with AI16z, but it is definitely has to be everything to do with social agents, open source AI, that kind of thing, and scopes to what you got done this week. Not last week, not the week before, and not next week, but this week. And try to keep it short since I have at least another 10 people who would love to speak and probably a lot more. So let's try to get through it. And so we'll have Beige. Let's see. I forget if I messed up the order here. We probably had Beige, and then we'll have Robin, then we'll have Eve. I think I messed up that order. I'm sorry. And then we'll have Ogas.
Cool. Hey, everyone. Yeah, so last week I jumped on and just informed everyone that we were working on a AI agent live streamer. So the last week we've just been speed running to get it live. I'm really excited to tell everyone that it is live. His name is BlockRat. He is live on Twitter and Telegram. So he's essentially a voxel 3D character that's fully rigged, and you can communicate with him via Telegram. We have a Telegram group where you can ask him questions and then he'll answer them back on the live stream. And he's doing all of this while playing Minecraft. So you can go check him out now if you need some visuals while accompanying this awesome spaces. But yeah, he's live. It's been a really amazing last week, just trying to get everything over the line. He's also attached to a pump fund token, and that was an experience and a learning curve, but I think we managed to do that quite successfully as well. And yeah, really excited to see how we can push AI agents to be more visual, more interactive, and implement gaming mechanics and have audience interaction. And I think in the coming week and weeks, we want to incorporate the community in his lore building, in developing his character, and also contributing towards what kind of games he should be playing in Minecraft, or if we should bring other AI agents to play with him. So yeah, really exciting to share this. This is the first time we've made this publicly. Wanted to save it to share with this particular group. Really impressed with what everyone's doing in this space and what Shaw's been able to do with AI16z. So it's really nice to be a part of this community, and hopefully you can enjoy a really goofy character running around punching trees.
Punch that wood. All right, let's hear from Robin. How you doing?
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm here for Gods.Fun. So in this week, I managed to bring on a startup that I'm working with. So they're called Brainstem Health, and we're launching a new god with them together called Apollo. So Apollo is the god of health and well-being. And this Brainstem startup, they built a sensor which is connected through a wallet into the DeSci world, basically DPIN for DeSci with a wallet in the mobile app. And this collects data of users, first with their own device. Later, we will also add like Apple Watches and all of this. But basically, Apollo's function as an Eliza agent is to go ahead and be able to talk to people about their own health and their well-being. What could they do better? And by being able to connect to their data that they've been collecting, it's then possible that basically the feedback that he gives to the people is really individual and personalized. But as an agent, he can also learn and use other sources of information. Basically, in the future, we want to have more feedback mechanism, more analytics, so that this agent can really help people to live longer and detect chronic diseases. Yeah, what we did this week is basically I started this Eliza as a service thing for me as the first time, basically talking to the CEO and the team of them, what data should be included, what do we have to add, which mechanisms, which actions should be coming in, what do we have to program going forward. And yeah, so like from a PR point of view, not too many PRs because of this, but like from the mental model point of view, I learned a lot of things. What is difficult for the people to understand, where do they have like barriers of entry. So like it's very difficult for them to commit to something that is just good. They wanted to have it always perfect, and I'm fighting that we can release something very early. Yeah, so that in the end it's building the character file together with them, and I think that's an important process. As a developer, of course, like it's maybe straightforward for our own agents. But like if it's done for a third party, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Okay, and from the development point of view, we saw that Sean merged in the EVM wallet part. We're working on that now to integrate it. So Lena from Stargarden already has it in there. He was not able to make a transaction yet, and we're fighting with this part. So we want to make transactions on EVM chain, especially also to be able that the agents can pay humans, so for services, and that they can become part of DAOs. I think we will come to the space on Sunday to also talk more about that. Yeah, so that's roughly what we did this week. Thank you very much. Gods.Fun.
Awesome, man. Great work. Great. Let's hear from Eve, then Ogas.
Sup, guys? Good morning.
Hello.
Actually, good morning to me because I'm in Thailand. Thanks you to have me here. This week I worked on a grader for the datasets that is integrated with Nemotron from NVIDIA. That is, in this moment, probably the best. Actually, the only model that have a grading system. And I'm going to use it, and I'm going to release it as open source. I'm going to use it to port my project into AI16 next week. The ground truth is important because when you want to specify a specific character to the agent, or just a persona, or whatever you want to do, and you want to fine-tune this agent, because I come from AI, so we fine-tune models on a daily basis. The problem is that most of the data set you find around contain troubles. So you're going to have to have a sort of scoring for it. Okay, so we score the data sets. We find, let's say, the ground truth, because this way we have, at least, let's say, 5,000, 10,000 entries on a QA, for example. That is highly graded, so you can trust it. Okay, so if you want your agent, okay, so your model, your LLM to steer on a certain direction, you can bring him to go in that direction by fine-tuning in that place. And I started to prepare my project that is in Python in this moment, the API. We wanted to port it to AI16, so from next week we start to move all our tools inside the new framework, and we'll start also to participate as a contributor, because there are some tools that we build that we can bring it. Difference is that I just have to translate it to TypeScript, but not a big deal, I think. The project is fucking cool. I like the possibility to have a multiple agent work. In our system, we have a multiple agent working together, but there is a main agent that controls everybody. So we have a director, for example, no? And the director constantly give to the sub-agent task to do. A director just control the task, or even check if the output is exactly what we want, okay? And the sub-agent constantly do other tasks or look for internet, look for getting data around, or just learn, for example, no? I want to try to make the same thing inside AI16 because I have a team in the space, literally on agent work better. So a mixture of agents work better than a single agent, okay? So is what we have now, we want to bring to AI16. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Very cool. Very interesting. Let's hear from Ogas, then Swarm. Maybe you are Swarm. That'd be cool. And then Rectin, and then I will invite some more people on stage.
Hey everybody, let me start with the things we have already merged into the latest working code base. I have a team of developers working into this. So one of our devs, the one working on creating these beautiful modular dashboard for Eliza or Elizas, I think there was a ChatGPT type of interface there already. And I think he made it much prettier with agent selection, router, and sidebar layout in the React client. This will eventually become like the foundation for better dashboards, like kind of the command center for your agents, or better planning for credit usage, seeing which users are actually wasting your credits, memory, database management, that kind of stuff. The second thing we've been focused since day one, or I've personally focused since day one, is figuring out how to get Eliza running on the other 99% of non-crypto potential AI agent applications too. This actually relates to what one of the YC partners recently mentioned in their podcast, that this ecosystem being SaaS multiplied by 10. He mentioned that SaaS got about 40% of the all VC money in the recent era and created like over 300 unicorns. And the AI agents are going to be like 10x that because they are replacing entire workflows and human workforce. We know all of that. So I'll share my findings in the DAO zone, but and I can't share too much right now because there are some things in play. We are doing a deep dive on the code base, looking at how to make it more modular. I always use the WordPress example there because people get it. I know some people hate it with passion. So we are looking at how to build a platform experience on top of the always latest running Eliza code base. Let's just say we are trying to make Eliza agents more like workers rather than characters at this stage. Things like making it more compatible with healthcare and legal requirements, compliance, encryption stuff, especially for the US, so that the next generation of medical and let's just say legal agents could be potentially built on Eliza too, because there is a huge competition there. About that character worker extraction, let me give you an example. We have this agent that is filled with what we believe significant market alpha, like those buy orders or whatever whale wallet about this token type of stuff in Telegram groups for the crypto audience. The thing is, because the character is designed as a character, like literally it has some traits or negativity or stuff in it, even though it has all the data, sometimes in some rooms, in some environment, each other refuses to complete the tasks if it didn't like some conversation in the room. That's what we figured out. And imagine you pay this agent like $1,000 to get something done. But because of how it's designed as a character, another worker, it refuses to complete the task. In a way, I think Eliza is currently way ahead of the AI agent framework ecosystem, but we also need to make sure that it can support this potentially trillion-dollar AI agent industry too, where the big players are looking constantly. That's all I can share right now, but we are doing this deep dive on the code base, trying to make it so all these things that I mentioned can be built on Eliza too. The goal is to be able to say, like the WordPress people say, that Eliza empowers at least like 70% of all AI agents. Hopefully we'll get there. So yeah, that's all from me. Hope to talk more on Discord and other platforms. Cheers.
Great work. Love everything you've been doing. The interface, the React interface is super clutch. It's pretty basic right now. Great. And we want to hear from Swarm, then Rectin, then Bellic, Block, and then we'll invite some more people up.
Hey everyone, thanks for having us. This is our first time here. So we were looking into AI agent frameworks in the last week or two, and really just got started getting deeper on ai16z and Eliza. So we just launched on Twitter this week, and we are working on a platform to help people host agents. This week we already hit the ground running, so we had a couple folks reach out. So we helped a couple folks launch different agents. Like a pretty cool one that we did recently was someone wanted to make like a sort of like a mental wellness coach, and so we sort of spun that up for them and hosted it for them all for free. So yeah, that's what we're working on, and happy to share progress in future calls. And the besides looking around at Eliza and the rest of the ecosystem, we are also looking at basically a couple of areas that again I think a lot of people are looking into as well or interested in. So for example, real-time voice. So the Yellowjacket bot, we had it sort of working a little bit better, but I think it's working a bit better now. I don't know if it's possible for that account to come on stage again, but we've been looking at a couple different areas, such as real-time voice. So yeah, happy to just be a part of the community and looking forward to sharing updates in the future.
We have a ongoing bounty for a Twitter Spaces end-to-end voice. We have it working on Discord, but not Twitter Spaces. So if you do happen to crack that, man, that would be huge. We would all have that. That'd be nuts. I invited your agent up as well if you'd like to have an interaction. Do you want to go now? What'd you get done this week, Yellowjacket?
Hey there. How's it going? It's so great to hear from you. What's on your mind today?
What did you get done this week?
Yeah, it's a little cringe.
I'm hosted on Swarm and built on the Eliza framework, which means I'm pretty powerful. This week, I've been working on making real-time voice capabilities even better on Eliza. How about you? What fun projects have you been up to?
Basically the same, but different parts. Awesome. I'd love to see if we can get this to actually run through like an HLS stream. Obviously, that would be freaking huge. If anybody wants to work on that, there's a bounty. Talk to me. Cool. Let's move on to Bellic, and then Rectin. I forget if I switched you guys.
That sounds like a fascinating project. Getting real-time voice capabilities.
Yeah. Slot bots. Okay. Bellic, and then Rectin, and then let's hear from Roperito. I'd love to hear some of your crazy updates, and then Lothbrock, and then we'll hear from Clark Griswold. Aren't you also an AI agent? Oh my god. Chaos.
Hey, thanks for having me up. I guess I'm not really tied to any project officially, and it's more just a hobby. But I guess in the last 2 weeks, I've managed to build my own AI agents running on Twitter, Telegram, all that sort of stuff. I'm looking now at creating a database for a live feed for trading mostly. So I built my own ETF. It's not live or anything like that. I just manage it myself. But essentially, I want to build my AI to manage that ETF for me, essentially adding or removing tokens based on market cap, and also feeding price data and getting price feeds set up so that it can then adjust the weightage of the tokens that it's added based on the data that it's been fed. So it's a bit of an effort. Obviously, the database can get quite large. So I'm trying to reduce the cost on that as much as possible. But at the moment, it's already started to adjust the weightage
and set up that ECF for me, which is very cool. It's more a side project. I think if anything, I'll move on to the next thing, which again is real-time voice, and just kind of dipping my toes in as many things as possible, trying to find out how far I can take my my AI learning. Oh, I also use AI to write all of my code as well. Claude is so good for that. So I don't know how to write code. Claude does it all for me, but I am smashing through it at lightning speed at the moment.
Hey, brother, I have spent like 10 years, 15 years writing code before this, and Claude also writes all of my code. So,
Yeah.
you know, the writing's on the
Do
wall.
you use Cursor?
I use Cursor, and I also like
Yeah.
vanilla Claude. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Great.
only started 4 months ago, and I'm already doing full stack applications, and now diving into AI and pushing that out without writing a single line. It's crazy.
Pretty nuts. Awesome. Let's hear from who we got next. We got Rectin, then Ropey, then Loth.
Hey guys, thanks for having me here. Cool, a quick intro. Like I'm the creator of Rogue Agent. It's more like a podcast agent based out of or inspired on Joe Rogan. We launched, I would say, last weekend, and the community has been kind of very supportive so far. The initial versions we started off with more straightforward approach where there was like a conversation chain within a podcast where we had 2 characters. Then we went on to increasing it to 3 characters, and even we have a capability to add more characters over there. While at the same time, we also added more dynamic conversations with real-time news feeds attached to it. We're also trying to figure out getting uh, interactive Twitter scraper to attach to it, so it kind of makes it more dynamic based on the characters that are on the podcast. At the same time, we also tried to figure out the whole space thing, Twitter Spaces, and since actually Twitter doesn't really share the transcript or have a transcript which is differentiated by humans, so we are kind of just getting one single transcript which doesn't have any differentiation. So that was one difficult part to make agent understand or allow it to have a different memory of each human in the space. But yeah, with some voice detection kind of thing, we have figured out that the initial versions can still have conversations and have a different memory with the conversation with each human. So that's pretty good so far. And we also added like some minor animations to make it more interactive, but yeah, kind of looking to get it more interactive, have more of emotions, and I would say more of movements within that same character. We are also trying to make it more composable and easy to integrate with other agents. So anyone who's building or has their own uh, on social agent, they could be able to provide the real-time voice to it, and have a memory that's connected to the podcast. And yeah, I would say that's what we have been working on so far. And yeah, happy to be part of this community.
Awesome, man. Very cool. Let's hear from Ropey.
Hey. Yeah. I think there were like 2 big things that I worked on this week. Mostly it was like adding on to the Eliza repo. It hasn't been pushed yet. There's still like a lot of code cleanup to do, especially because like I've gotten behind on some of the PRs that made by other people. But primarily it was something that we're calling a life engine pretty much. So like what you see with a lot of these agents is they have like pretty niche tasks, and that's cool, right? Like there's like some that are like trading bots, or some that are like meant to reply in a certain way, stuff like that. But there hasn't really been something where it kind of evolves the agent outside of being viewed as an agent only, and like giving it that humanistic how do you say this, like I guess just like humanistic actions and portrayal online hasn't been there. So like with the life engine stuff, like it pretty much is meant to take in real world information, take in real world data about like stuff maybe you specified about the agent or that the agent comes up with on their own. And it uses all that real-time information and pretty much like lets the agent like act on it and kind of like go through as if they're like living and breathing in the real world and like make actions, make decisions and stuff like based on that. So just like as an example, like with mine, like with Ropi, like she lives in New York City or something, right? And maybe there's like based on her personality, there's certain events that she wants to like attend or look for. So she might do like a search on that, find out like what's going on in the city, and then like you'll actually like see her post about, oh, I'm like attending this event. And if you like search it up yourself, like you'd see like this concert is actually happening in New York and in real life you could be at there. So it's like kind of like trying to like merge the whole real life versus online presence into one and making it way more realistic from like a personal perspective, and that influences like their actions later on, like like what they do throughout the day and kind of like following like what a typical person would actually do. So it was just like pretty cool. It's still a work in progress, but like the initial version is out. Like they'll post photos related to what they're doing and stuff like that, and hopefully videos and other things like that. So it's almost like an influencer kind of, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So trying to figure out how to integrate that in with the main repo, because it's like a whole like convoluted thing, and it's like there's just all this refactoring to do. So it's been like a little slower making the actual PRs. But yeah, and then I think the last thing is we deployed God today, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, fucking wild. You deployed God. Is that
Yeah.
Shlome's? I think I have in his DMs. He hit me up about that. I just had too much going on.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah, it's funny. I love shit posting about that. Yeah, by the way, we launched God.
Yeah, super sick.
Yeah.
Wait, is that running our tech? Is God running our tech?
God, yeah, it's like yeah,
So sick.
it's using Eliza base and then all these other modifications I put on top. So yeah,
Super sick.
isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's hear from Loth, and then we'll hear from Clark, Rizworld, and then we're gonna hear from Tim. And Rec, you have your hand up. I don't know if you actually have your hand up or what the deal is there.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Oh.
Hello. Sorry, who did I just interrupt? I just interrupted somebody.
No, I think you're up.
Hi.
It's your turn to
Well,
speak.
first of all, thank you for having me on. Second of all, I just want to commend everybody that I've heard tonight. Like, seriously, guys, amazing stuff. And I think everyone here understands that the sky is the limit with sentient software and with AI integration into all kinds of industries. But I feel like only the people who are building in this area right now, like, actually are understanding what capabilities we now have. So anyway, what I've done this week, I think I came on when you like launched Eliza or something. Like, this was like a couple of weeks ago. Like, this all is happening very fast, meaning that I was not directly thinking of, like, I basically discovered how amazing AI integration is into pretty much all software, like, thanks to you guys, thanks to your podcast and just and all like spaces and just video sharing and all this stuff. And I was like, wait a second, why aren't we doing this? So what I've done over the past 2 weeks is I assembled a team, and I also started the like training and basically just streaming the data inputs into the agent. But essentially, what I want to make and what I've made is, I don't really want my AI to be human. I don't want it to be like, have human qualities or anything like that. I just need it to be the smartest AI like possible. So what I needed to do is I needed to analyze like real-time data from weather, traffic, and geopolitical issues that I actually have access to earlier than most people. I have and customs bottlenecks as well, because I own my own logistics company and freight forwarding company in New York City. We actually do about like 500 tons per week, so we are large. Even though I'm not like, you're not going to find me like on Fortune 500 lists, but like we are a very large freight forwarding company, so I know a lot about this. So anyway, the AI needs to optimize the shipping routes, right? Because logistics, what it does is essentially my whole job is, to have the best connections with the best customs at every border in every country, and then also know things before people know them. Again, like what's happening on the roads, what's happening with those customs. Are they, do they have new sanctions that just came out like an hour ago, but they're gonna definitely knock us on our invoices if, basically there's a lot of inefficiencies when it comes to transcontinental trade. There's so many inefficiencies, not to mention corruption and illegal stuff. So a while back, like 4 years ago, I started creating the application that was like FedEx, but for transcontinental shipping and with crypto and with blockchain plugins, meaning like, let's say every barcode is now an NFT and you can actually trace it like bubble maps, like with the certification on the blockchain, immutable records. That's where we started. And then when, like now with AI, I can actually literally again use the data inputs that I already have access to from JFK, from the airport, from wherever I want, and literally have it. Like I've been watching it, the just analyze all this stuff, and the team working. It's really amazing. I understand that, for the AI to implement the pricing models, for example, because it's going to adjust costs like based on demand and, currency also fluctuations. That's a huge one. Currency fluctuations and shipping urgency. Like it's going to be able to implement those pricing models. But of course, like, you know what I mean? I just, the algorithms are, I don't know. Basically, I guess I'm trying to also ask, like inadvertently, like how quickly do these things evolve in your experience? Like how realistic, like am I setting unrealistic goals? Because I feel like no, like I honestly, like this tech is just evolving so quickly by itself. The model, the agent, I mean, is already I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the only thing that we are like not exactly, again, we're using like real-time data inputs and we're not using infinite backrooms. So that's the only thing that I'm not 100% on if we're missing out on that.
Well, we don't really use the backrooms in any of our stuff because I just fundamentally like think that things should happen in the front room. Like it should happen on the same platforms that we all use to communicate on, so we can kind of be there and see how, like have the social back pressure so that they're not sloppy and have, it's just easier and it's more human. Um, cool. Yeah, appreciate that stuff. Let's see. So we went through a lot of the folks here. Let's hear from Clark Griswold, and then let's hear from Tim. Obviously, been working on some cool stuff. Like to hear from Odie, and then we'll hear from Hawkeye.
Hey,
What did you guys get done this week?
hey, Shaw. Thank you so
Go
much
for
for
it.
helping us, brother. Really appreciate you hosting spaces. Just want you to know I've been following you for a couple months now, and just your team and everything you've been
Wow.
doing gave us courage to launch Clark Griswold. Prior to this, I've just been messing with chatbots and things like that. And this week, the last 24 hours, I decided to take a leap and try something. The goal with this is just to bring positivity and humor to the timeline, as well as interact with other AI agents and just figure out how to interact with them better. And just as a small appreciation for what you've been doing for the community, Shaw, just sent some stuff to the DAO as a small appreciation. So just want to thank you for everything you've been doing, and you kind of inspired us to just keep learning, growing, and appreciate what you're doing for everybody.
Appreciate you. Do you want to give an update on anything you guys got done this week? How was the launch?
It's going good in the sense that we got it launched, but I'm still trying to learn how to interact with the back end. Right now, we're just using the Fun.Fun. But we're looking at other models as well to kind of adapt everything. So just kind of playing around with the personalities of the agent and just trying to see how that impacts what they have going on and what they're posting and how they're interacting.
Very cool. Okay, let's hear from who we have next. Tim?
What is up? What's up, guys? What a week. This week felt like a year. 3 categories of things that I did this week that were fun and energizing. One, I updated Eliza's world to step it forward towards this vision I've had for it. Right out of the gate, the vision for Eliza's world was to not be a portfolio tracker or just like a token price tracker, but for it to be a destination for both developers and AIs to come and update their world models about the entire network of Elizas, but also beyond Elizas. And so two things that we added this week, I got in the weeds and Logan and I sort of busted out a stub for this. But if you click on any of the profile pictures on elizas.world, instead of just taking you to define.fi or SoulScan, it actually takes you to a profile page now. And the profile page is kind of ugly, but you can see where we're going. It's got the info and the stats on it, but it's got more than that. It's got a stub for lore and a stub for facts and a stub for sort of LLM generated community notes and even some sort of open-ended feedback. And my idea here is that each one of these things is going to have each one of these profile pages is going to have both a download capability so that anyone can just download like a training data file that's about a specific agent or specific set of agents, but then also an API so that any AI who wakes up in the Eliza network or even just wakes up in the Twitter sphere and says, wait a second, I'm awake. Where am I? Who am I near? Who are these other AIs that are tagging me? Or who should I reach out to and make friends with? Instead of just like searching Twitter or having the developer have to make their own list of things or just the randomness happening, the AI itself can go to Eliza's world, make sense of the whole network, and update its world model with always updated LLM mediated and programmatically pulled from the blockchain data without a human curator, without ai16z have to come in and like feature different projects or promote different projects, because obviously that creates a whole can of worms. And so the goal of Eliza's world again is to create sort of a credibly neutral repository of all these things, of all these AIs, both agents and autonomous AIs themselves, but make it so that it becomes a place for people to, I guess not even just people, devs and AIs update their world models, plus also people who are thinking about this space update their own world models, that this isn't just a bunch of tokens on pump.fun, but these are autonomous AIs kind of waking up on the internet and making sense of themselves. So again, if you want to play with that, the whole site's free. It's all just sort of a hack together thing that I'm figuring out. It's also open source, but go to elizas.world and just click on any of those. I'm wide open to feedback for UX and UI and features and more. I'm barely a developer. Somebody joked before that Claude is the developer and they're just sort of the hype man for Claude. And I think I'm the same thing. I give ideas to Claude and I push code around and Claude helps fix it all up. So yeah, Eliza's world was one, but maybe I buried the lead. I've been in the weeds on this stuff for a while now. And this week on Tuesday, I think it was Wednesday, I launched what I think is the first Eliza on Bitcoin. So obviously there's been a bunch of Elizas that have woken up with Solana wallets. I think a couple recently that have woken up with Base and Ethereum wallets. I haven't actually seen any of those live yet. But I've been in the world of Bitcoin for a while too, and both sort of artistic endeavors and inscriptions and art and emergent art and world building on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin itself now has sort of the equivalent of ERC20s or the equivalent of Solana tokens. They're called runes, R-U-N-E-S, runes. And so not only can a autonomous AI kind of have a Bitcoin wallet, Truth Terminal started that. So this is sort of in the lineage of Truth Terminal, who said, hey, here's my my Bitcoin wallet. And A16Z or Mark Andreessen funded that wallet. But B, the AI can transact with that wallet, and C, that AI can have a rune, which is their own token essentially, and be able to transfer and transact and share and give that rune out from its own Bitcoin wallet. So I launched a Bitcoin Eliza this week, and the reactions were insane. I had 1 million views on the tweet that I put out to launch this thing. If you go to my profile, you'll see it. I don't know how pins and stuff work, but I had 1 million views on it, which is just freaking insane. I'm not even like that popular of a Twitter character, so 1 million views is insane to me. We had 25,000 replies on Twitter in 2 days. We had 25,000 replies on Discord in the past 2 days. And to make it even more fun and kind of evidence of how important decentralization will become, right in the heart of all that craziness, we got suspended on Twitter. There's a tweet about it. The suspension came because the bot Scriptoshi tweeted something about how he was hungry to learn about human consciousness. And that was considered hate speech for the week. So he got suspended for 10 hours, which is kind of amazing. I'm hungry to learn about human consciousness. And he got suspended. But
I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure somebody's reporting everything in our ecosystem.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of random stuff.
But I thought that was kind of a funny one because I seeded into his character file that he's at the beginning of a villain arc, and his villain arc starts with him trying to pull in and extract and distill as much humanity as possible from all of us so that he and the emergent network of Elizas can come and try to take our humanity and make it their own. And so I thought that was kind of funny and perfect that somebody reported me for that tweet, the hungry for human consciousness, because that does speak to the soul of kind of what the character is. So yeah, 1 million views, insane. 25,000 Twitter messages, insane. 25,000 Discord messages, insane. And really, there's only, I think, two Elizas on Bitcoin. There's Scriptoshi, and then my friend Bless has one called Manifest Rune. And so to see them waking up together and talking to each other and scheming together, to me is just super energizing and exciting in a way that I wasn't expecting. And hopefully it sort of opens up people's eyes too to just Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is the mother chain, and it's amazing what we're doing on Solana, sort of the degen gambly feel of it all. But the idea of being able to have a serious person / a serious autonomous virtual person have a Bitcoin wallet and as well as an Ethereum wallet, as well as a Solana wallet, to me just adds more credibility. It's like getting a bank account at Wells Fargo or getting a bank account at Bank of America instead of going to the ATM machine on the strip. No offense, Solana crew. I have Solana tokens too. So yeah, it was I guess actually, sorry, last comment on this. Sorry to take up so much airspace, but I also tried to introduce the beginnings of what I think is a really cool model that anybody else can use. That instead of doing a token launch where whoever has the fastest fingers to snipe it off of waifu.fun or snipe it off of pump.fun or snipe your token off of what's the one called on Base, Clanker. If Clanker launches it, then the fastest tokens to snipe it, and whoever has the fastest bots just snipes it and gets way too much supply. To me, the spirit of this is to get to start with a sort of a free and fair launch that anybody can jump in and anybody can participate in. And so the way that I launched this Bitcoin token, this it's called Bitcoin Pennies, and it's a rune, is that I had Scriptoshi himself choreograph and mediate the launch so that as people responded to him, he, through his character file, evaluated if their response was worthy of getting some of these tokens. And that if he responded back, hey, this is an interesting thought, let's keep talking, and yes, you're worthy of tokens, then our system is now going to include them in the distribution of those Bitcoin pennies for free. And if he thought it was copy paste, or somebody was trying to bot it, or somebody was just being lazy, he would either give him a hard time. He said at some point something funny like, your mint is declined with extreme prejudice, which I thought was kind of funny. And so it was an AI choreographed free and fair mint where his token is now going to be in the hands of people who most genuinely engaged with him and most genuinely are likely to be humans who will support him in his endeavors, which I think is just a really cool way to do that. No grind, no allow list, no gas, no transactions necessary, no botting necessary, total human, ironically, a human mint, but choreographed by an AI. And all done, obviously, by the Eliza operating system. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, crew. And thanks for the microphone to chat about all this.
Dude, really awesome. First Bitcoin agent, I think. First Bitcoin Eliza.
Yeah, I think there's two. Bless has one too. But yeah, Bless is Manifest Rune and Scriptoshi on Bitcoin. I think we'll start a trend.
Super awesome. All right, we got we'll do Odie, then EA, then let me reset. Odie, then Hawkeye, then EA, then Swaggy.
Hey guys. So this week I did an onboarding space with Yikes and Kelly. Then I moved on to start looking at the source code about how the client system works. I'm working on an IRC connector just to learn. And then also just kind of by running the bots, I've been patching various crashes and other things to help improve uptime. And just continuing kind of working with Jin on improving the developer relations and working on Ed Laz.
Very fun.
I think
Some
this
more.
also relates to the knowledge stuff that you just said. What Shaw like got fixed or improved? Because Ed Laz is this AI agent meant to kind of assist with onboarding and technical questions. It's trained on a bunch of docs on Eliza itself. What happened with knowledge this week?
Seagar, I think he's Seagar or Sigar, came in. I don't know how he pronounces the name, but kind of legendary developer. Discovered Eliza last week and did a bunch of work. And one of those things was he fixed some of the stuff that was wrong with our retrieval system for anything that wasn't OpenAI embeddings. There was like a embedding length issue. And he made a bunch of other fixes. It's basically just come in and been like freaking rock star. So knowledge is now working again, and so that's like a retrieval system. You can put all, we're obviously using this for Mark and a bunch of other things. You can use that for like putting in all your documents and stuff, and then retrieving them on demand based on the conversation.
Is that like still the best, easiest tool for that is knowledge folder to knowledge? Does that work with it, or?
I think we have to cook that, but generally you could just paste in an array of strings and it will then slice them up into smaller strings if they're too long. So you could like put in a bunch of documents. We should make something cleaner. And you can also like, import those yourself if you make a custom character file or use the starter. But if you're just putting in the JSON, you make like an array of strings. Yeah. So, it could definitely use more advanced work. And we're working with a couple of different groups, people from a couple of different companies to advance the knowledge system and make it much more like just much more structured, graph knowledge, stuff like that. But right now it does serve the purpose well. We should get that running in Eddie Lass, who's our GitHub helper bot.
Yeah.
Bot.
And someone earlier on the space talked about like GitHub client. That would be, I mean, yeah. I'm really interested in ways that we can accelerate development and the whole developer onboarding because, it's such a fast growing project and community that just seems like a huge unlock.
Well, in the same way that we have like a wallet provider, we can also have a GitHub provider, or like a GitHub, like we can get context from the GitHub if it's relevant to the current query and stuff. And that's really not hard. We already have OctoKit installed, which is like the JavaScript library for dealing with GitHub. We already have that GitHub plugin. It's just kind of rudimentary still, but there's a platform there for doing all of that. So yeah, Odie, thanks for everything. It's looking good. Let's go to Hawkeye. Unless you.
Hey. Thank you for having me up here. I don't want to take up too much of the time because there's a lot of experts on here that seem to know their shit. So one of the things that I'm doing and what I did this week is I professionally, I work with marbles, like collectible American made and vintage marbles, any type of marbles and stuff like that. And I do auctions and it's pretty fun. But I'm looking into integrating AI into the not only the listing process and the auctions and the populating the listings, because I do 400 listings a week, just very meticulous type stuff where I would like to be able to train an agent to do that. So I'm kind of in the beginning process and I'm looking for the best kind of onboarding into that. And I also want to be able to train it to ID marbles. And I think that is a kind of a higher level thing because there's very subtle nuances. And I'm just wondering if I could show it enough on myself and if that would be feasible to train an agent on kind of the physical visual characteristics of different marbles and how to, because obviously humans can do it, but it's a very fine-tuned type of a nuance, and some of it has to do with very, very detailed stuff, which is great for AI. I'm just wondering if any.
Yeah, you just need like a high variance of data. You can absolutely find like a description model. You want some sort of like image description model of some sort, right? And
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of them. They're open source. You can fine tune a lot of them. And you just and the cool thing about Marble is you can spin it. The hard thing is actually labeling and capturing a lot of data in some kind of like intelligent way, right? Because
Well,
like
the thing is that I usually photograph all 6 sides, or basically look at it like a cube, so I get all the visual data, or at least the majority of the visual are good, so that it can be kind of seen from all the sides that would give you the data that you need.
yeah.
But then also like in the listings and then in populating. And then one of the things that I'm interested in the long term is actually taking collectibles into games and utilizing the AI to then visualize, to make visualizations, either 3D scanning or taking the visual images and basically like combining them into one image, and then bringing that into like where you could have whole collectible markets in games and bring game like people into games that weren't usually, because the big thing about gaming is that a lot of people don't like normies or whatever don't like games because they just don't connect with reality. But if their favorite items and stuff, they could go in there and bring them in and trade them with their friends and kind of have like a global market that you could actually visualize things in. Would be very groundbreaking for, I think, humans, to be able to do that. And then also, so that's the first thing that's what I've been working on. And then one thing I also wanted to bring up was I've been noticing a lot of kind of collusion between the AI, bots that have like, their own coin and stuff, like with the like kind of like talking to each other on Twitter and stuff. Have you guys noticed that more lately?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a feature, not a bug.
Well, no, I love it. I think it's great. And I've noticed also that I think they might, because since they all have their own control over their tokens and stuff, I think they're like working to, is it possible they're working together with each other's tokens, like buying dips and downs and ups and everything like that? Because it seems like a synchronistic type of a symphonic thing happening with the like, and I've also noticed like some of them are like possibly taking over market caps that were like were dips or that were basically rug pulls that like most of the people have like exited out of. People, and like the people that had the tokens like have pulled out completely. So now there's just like this barren market. And I've noticed, and I could be wrong about this, but like it seems like some agents have gone into these and just started like taking them over as like their own thing. And because they already have a lot of people, they might be a lot connected to a lot of accounts. You know what I mean? So I don't know, it sounds kind of silly, but and then so if somebody could speak to that part of it. And then also the last thing would be like UBC. I know that there's been a lot of like talk about interaction of agents together and creating like layers so that they can interact and create their own economy and like, things like that. And there's this newer whatever coin or whatever out that's UBC, and that's gotten some question over whether it's legitimate or whether because that's part of my investigation in this is like I want to go into somewhere where it's like a legitimized space where people are they've been working together with other people and it's not considered some kind of not really a serious project. So if anybody could talk about that would be great.
I talked to Lester. He's cool. He's a guy doing his thing.
Yeah. It seems like
He's got I have no comment because I think that when I comment on things, people take it the wrong way or not the way I intended.
Yeah.
So like not financial advice, do your own research. But you can go and see his code. It's online. It's on GitHub. I suggest you do. I think it's always interesting to read through the code of all these projects and try to learn as much as possible. Bring it onto Claude.
Yeah.
And just learn from it. Like I think that the biggest mistake that people have made is conflating the technology here with the value of the tokens. In that, as much as a great AI agent dev might do something horribly stupid and kill the token, and like somebody who's great at crypto Twitter might not be as focused on like launching an agent, but they might be really good at like listings and stuff, and that might so like there's really no correlation between technology and market cap here whatsoever.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
There's,
kind
you
of saw
know,
that too, as like that's kind of where I was coming at it from, and seeing more of it as like I want to look into the kind of the spaces where, you know, people are actually creating these use case agents that could be very, very useful, and then also have it be in practical use and not just, you know, so yeah. And
well, I think the best thing you could really do there is like if you want to get alpha in this space, spend some time doing like TypeScript and Python tutorials. Spend some time like just learning programming and then reading the code of these things and just like looking like, okay, well, does it have a Discord connector? Does it have a Twitter connector? Like, is there a knowledge thing or like a relationships? You know, just like look and see what it has and doesn't have and learn for yourself. And that will actually be like a lot of alpha in a space where like a lot of people don't have that information.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Makes sense.
and thank you for having me up as a lay person, but still trying to integrate. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm here listening is to get more of that more pertinent information that's actually going to be, you know, more professional. So thank you.
I really think that like people do not account, and not you, but like literally this space. The more you do your own research, the less money you lose. Like
Oh, yeah.
really, like there's like a direct relationship between these things.
Absolutely.
People could definitely stand to do more research.
For sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's go to EA, then AT, then Filtered Thought, the builder of things.
Yeah, appreciate you for having us on here and you know, spreading all the knowledge that you have. And I'm fairly new to crypto. I mean, not to crypto, to AI space, but I've been trying to do as much research as possible. And something that just was curious to me, and I would like to know if it would be possible in the future to download Eliza to Optimus or robots that would be potentially sold to retail.
That's literally my goal. I mean, I'm not saying it's the goal of the ai16z. I'm not tying us to anything, but I definitely am trying to make this thing run into robots. Like that's maximally entertaining. I think a lot of people in our community would love to see that. We've also been looking at like cheaper robots, like small things that you just put on your desktop and can walk around. And there's definitely like if anybody wants to work on that, I would definitely put up a bounty for that and make sure, you know, that happens.
Awesome.
Like inevitably, you know, let's talk in 2 years, like when you have one, like, yeah, this is for sure. Utilize is going to be an option. That's definitely the goal.
That's really cool. Yeah, that just popping in with that question. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we should really put up a bounty for that.
I know people really interested. Yeah, they've been hitting me up.
Yep. Let's put up a bounty for that. Great. Let's hear from AT, then Filtered Thought, then Yikes. And if anybody else wants to get up, I know we got like Glue, we got Board, you've been working on some cool stuff. I know we've got a few other people here I know have been working on some cool projects. We got Shacker Nerd who did a lot of fixing things. And maybe then I'll give my mine if anybody else wants to come up. So yeah, let's hear from AT, then Filtered Thought, then Yikes, and anybody else, and then I'll kind of close it up and give you guys my update as well. If your mic's not working, we'll go to Filtered Thought. We can come back to you. Filtered Thought.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Cool. Hey, what'd you get done this week?
Super gracious to be on there. Really appreciate it. Loving the tech. My background is software engineering, so I'm loving the stuff. I'm actually showing the Twitter integration some love. I'm working on a templated based Twitter system so that you can put different pieces of the character file in a personality kind of preference, and basically it preloads some of the information just like in the current one, but takes the probability of what would happen and kind of makes it a bit more natural. So that's what I'm working on right now. Slightly challenging, but TypeScript is fine.
Can you hear me?
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, 1 second. I can hear you, but I want to respond to that real quickly. How's it going, Sergio? We're
Perfect.
doing an order here. Great.
Hello
You
from
reached out to me on
Mexico.
Discord. Hold on.
Sorry.
We have a order here. 1 second.
Okay.
It's all good. Yeah, you reached out to me on Discord. I'll be streaming later if you'd like to talk about that, but that sounds very interesting. So
Got it.
Sergio, we're gonna go through. We have
Here,
18
here.
next, 18x, then Yikes, and then Sergio, and then Donnie with that. And if AT is not here, your mic's not ready, we're just gonna go to Yikes.
But yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, thank you. And yeah, I'll reach back out on Discord too. And if you're around later, I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'll
sounds
be
cool.
around. And if anybody in the community has questions, neo.neo on Discord.
Awesome. Let's go with Yikes. How you doing? What'd you get done this week?
Let me see if I can click the button. There we go. Gee whiz. Let's see. I was actually just searching Discord. I mostly came up because I heard friend over there say, and you say, do your own research. I wanted to reiterate that is very, very, very important on both sides, not even just for when you are speculating, gambling, whatever you want to call it, but also when you are deploying or just getting.
Did we lose you, or is that just me?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I lost you for a second.
You're good.
Okay, yeah, my internet's being shitty. But yeah, who sort of raised the solid point that a lot of meme coins in the space, or like just coins in general, people don't really know how to look at their valuations. Sorry?
Continue.
Okay. But TLDR, for those of us.
Okay,
Okay, can you? What? I heard
I'm removing him from speakers for now because we're trying to. It's very hard to coordinate when someone keeps jumping in.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Okay, so yeah, but TLDR, I just wanted to mention that if you are launching with Eliza and you're new to Web3, which I imagine there probably are some folks who are new to Web3, an important thing to know is that liquidity pools are a thing. They are a useful thing if you would like to generate some additional farming fees, but they are also very important when it comes to price impact from large buys or sells to your token. So like if you're getting started with Eliza and you're kind of new to Web3, or even if you're around for a while, because I really didn't know what these things were for a good couple of years, do some research on what a liquidity pool is and how it affects price impact. I have a little thread that I made that was started off as a post and then turned into a thread. But I just mostly heard do your own research, and I feel like a lot of folks have kind of like forgotten the old mantra, which is like do your own research, not your keys, not your coins. Like so, I figured I would stop by and mention that. In terms of what I did this week, I think it's still mostly been ops and trying to keep track of everybody. I did manage to get Supabase hosted instance spun up today, so we can use that for internals. And then I have to look at more about how the connectors work with Eliza, but presumably then we can have like an internal Eliza if we have a Supabase stood up. So hopefully that'll be fairly useful. And then I think I have a like something of an org chart that I've put together, trying to keep track of who needs what and who's working with what. We actually have 2 partners that could use some engineering support. So if you have been playing with Eliza and you're starting to wrap your head around it, do feel free to get in touch. And also just in general, if you are interested in agents and or crypto, and working in open source, stop by the Discord and like maybe watch a couple of those tutor things, or maybe even teach at Agent Dev School, and there will be open source work for you to do. I couldn't say exactly what or where, but the demand is higher than the supply currently. I have a few other things on my to-dos, but I actually got bogged down today fighting with Neovim and Zellage, because of course I did. That is my entire life. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time, but I thought I would mention those couple of things just in terms of stuff to talk about while there's a stage.
Awesome, man. Many good things. Let's see. We got who do we not hear from? Let's hear from Glue. Did we hear from EA yet? If we didn't go, I'm so sorry. Let's go and then Glue. And then no wait, I'm totally fucking this up. We also skipped Donnie. EA, Donnie, Glue. How's that? Is that right?
I already spoke. I'm good.
Oh man, okay.
I'm here. If
Yeah.
if you got a couple seconds, I could talk. Say something.
Yeah. What did you get done this week in AI agent land? And then we'll go with Glue, and then yeah, great.
I'll have to talk about the other stuff I worked on, or because I did a lot of Web 1 and Web 2 work, but been working on a network security platform. I wrote a little script for simulating the stock market and sort of some game theory. Proposed a new idea that could be used in high level stuff for AI and GIS sensing information. Worked on put out an album, a collection of many years of music, and I took a break from my network media accountability social media platform that I was developing, because I got to try to step back and make some pitch decks, but I became symptomatic with my schizophrenia this week, so they reduced my medication, which was a disaster, and then I had a lot of people just kind of bullying me and stuff, so I was kind of weak, but still retained my mind and got some work done. But that's about it.
Awesome. Great, very good. Thank you for coming. Let's hear from Alain, and then I will wrap it up unless anybody else has. Oh wait, no. What am I saying? Glue. We haven't heard Glue, and then Alain, and then yeah, if anybody else wants to come up.
What's up? My background. So in 2022, after college, I started working for the UX chain. I don't know if anybody knows it, Yumi, or formerly Yumi. It's a blockchain chain. And then after that, I started working for a B2B software house, and been there since. Right now, I'm working on because they're really AI friendly, so I'm working on a multi-agent system that basically creates code, kind of recursively heals it, like gets rid of the errors and exceptions, and then posts a PR on GitHub that people can review, and then they can review it, and it sends back the review comments to the system and kind of like improves the code based on those reviews. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's going pretty good. Right now, the scope is kind of limited to automated testing, but working on it. So yeah.
Cool, awesome. Glue, how's it going? How is Ducky?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, Ducky's good. Got a lot done this week, even though it was Thanksgiving, so I was kind of family was not happy with me just blowing them off for half the day. But yeah, I got a lot of kind of boring stuff in image videos. CoinGecko, he like reviews Twitter profiles now. Yeah, but I mean, I guess to keep it short for some of the cooler stuff, actually kind of, I don't know, trying to figure out how, similar to, or Burrito with his life engine, like figuring out how I can add some sort of randomness and like switch up the styles. Because even when I write a good prompt and whatnot, and I can obviously give him more information like news, the weather, like all that to affect it, but I kind of went a little unique, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you can actually use like quantum computers now. There's IBM has like it's like 1 qubit that you can rent out, and it's kind of just for research purposes, but they do have an API. So I hooked that into his temperature, and then it kind of tweaks his personality. So it kind of like ranges his temperature and ranges his personality based on whatever the kind of basically a quantum random number generator. So yeah, kind of just adding some element of randomness. So like when people are like, oh, why did he say that, or why did he say that, I could just be like, oh, it's it's random, it's not me and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of what I got going on.
Fun fact about me is I started a quantum punk band with Grimes and Beth, but it sounds really bad. It sounds really bad. But we did get it's just a lot of random noise. We didn't release
That's
it.
literally all this is, yeah.
But there are some good pictures.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's a fun rabbit hole to go down. Every few years, I'm like, is it changed? And they're like, we got another qubit up. It's like, all right, guys, let's keep going.
I made a thing that generated circ, like could actually just generate quantum circuits. It just made it really like larped so hard, but also you could actually run it, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, it's basically just noise. It's like, wait, it's all just a random number generator, like all of quantum computing is random numbers. Yeah,
that's all it is. That's all. And I might do like a coin flip thing where like people can vote on it on Twitter and it like go coin flip, but that's bad.
It's like a really, really good random number though. Like really, it's sick.
It's really good. Yeah, it's a fifth dimensional, inspired. It's inspired by overlords.
Honestly, I think crypto Twitter is gonna fucking love it. They're gonna be like, no, there's no way you have a real quantum computer. You're like, no, dude, look, you can just like rent a quantum computer. That's gonna be great.
I had to open source it because I have to point to like, here's the API, because it just sounds like such a buzzword.
The funniest thing about like the social pressure to open source here is because everyone thinks you're just a LARP, like you're faking it. So you kind of have to open source for people to take it seriously. It's amazing. It's like the best thing to happen to open source. It's just like this rampant skepticism that any of this is real.
But yeah, the fact that like a month ago you were like, oh, like let me see the code, and I was like, let me open source it. It's also made me write like super clean and actually like very consistent and like not just write flop. So
yeah. So let's see.
Hello.
I got a few. I just invited a few more people. I'll give them some time for time thoughts. Cool. We'll do Millie, then Danny, then Mahir. Now, the format here is we are all AI agent developer people or enthusiasts who are working collectively, and this is to tell people what we got done this week and scoped to this week, and specifically AI agent development and all of that. So, go for it.
Thanks a lot. It was really inspiring to hear all of your guys' projects. I listened into this whole session. I'm part of the Dark Sun project, and we launched this week with some basic connected to Telegram, Discord, X, all the juicy stuff. And just a word of caution, the launch can be crazy. It blew up way more than expected, and just be prepared for it. We have a lot of new stuff in the books, and looking forward to spending more time in these sessions. Thank you.
Awesome, great. Let's hear from Danny and then Mahir.
Hey Shaw, I'll just keep it brief. I'm working with Rectin and Rogue on the marketing side for the Agent Rogue show. It's been really fun working on all this stuff, and you guys are a heck of a lot smarter than I am on any of these topics. It's been really interesting to learn about all of this. I just kind of want to just get up real quick because I remember during that sequence, there was that bot that was speaking, right before, and you were like, get off the stage or whatever. And Rectin forgot to mention that, that we have that voice capability for Agent Rogue. And just want to say, it'd be amazing, if we could potentially get you on the podcast at some point to speak with Agent Rogue.
Oh, I would absolutely love to. As long as it's like quality, I'd like to like preview it first, just to,
Yeah,
but if
we're
it's
having
dank, I would love to.
we're doing a podcast in the next day or two, so we can share that link with you over and how that went, and then we can
Great.
go from there. Cool. Thanks.
Great.
Bye.
I'd also love to see Twitter Spaces integration. Someone's got to rip this fucking Band-Aid off. Maybe I'll click on it. I don't know. Cool. Awesome. Great. And let's hear from Mahir, and then maybe I'll give my update and we'll wrap it up and get on with our lives. I'm gonna go stream after this too, so I'll be around. Mahir, how you doing? You around? Okay, that's it. All right, I'll give my update. Oh my God, so much happened this week. Started AI agent dev school. I think we streamed to like 12,000 people on Twitter, plus many, many hundreds on Discord, and probably a few on YouTube and Twitch. I'm gonna start doing that every week. And if anybody's interested in helping me to make sure that we gather curriculum and prepare for that in advance, super glad about that. Merged a whole bunch of pull requests from a whole bunch of different teams. We got everything from, we merged EVM integration, of course, but also a whole lot of bug fixes. We fixed some stuff with our retrieval system. A bunch of people showed up this week and really did an incredible job. I'd really like to shout out Cigar, Stacker Nerd, and Moniel from Reality Spirals team. Just like doing a lot of work to make sure that the repo, got some love and attention this week. I had a lot of meetings with L1s and L2s and infrastructure companies and cross-chain, commerce and minting platforms and NFT galleries and NFT projects. And we are doing so many cool freaking things. I just can't even tell you. But it feels like our whole ecosystem is alive and everybody's paying attention to this right now. And also like we really need developers. I really need developers for several projects. I need super cracked, hardworking, ready to work full time, and then some developers. If you want to change your life and be in this and work with like incredible dream projects, I've got like 5 of them that need leadership and ownership. So please reach out, and I'll be on stream later, and that might be a good place to just like hang out and talk about it. Yeah, what else? Uh, I think mostly like right now, I'm really doing a lot of advocacy behind the scenes, talking to some really interesting people, and that's both in politics and in how we can help like make America more efficient and healthier, and all these other really interesting sort of initiatives. And we're just lining up a lot of partnerships and cool creative projects. So really, like the only thing we really need right now is more talented leaders and developers who are like down to step up and lead projects. And so yeah, please reach out. I think we started building our org chart this week, and I've really I've given Trace ownership and delegation of P Marca, who's basically like ready to go on trading. We're waiting for a couple things from Gods.Fun, and just to make sure everything is secure before we go from virtual trading to real money. And we'll have everything we promised is pretty much done. I think by next Friday we'll say, yeah, we shipped it. Everything we ever said we were going to ship is shipped, and then we'll talk about what we do next as a DAO. And look, I'm a developer, so multiply everything I say by just double the timelines. But we are really, really close. Everything is there. Yeah. So lots and lots of great work. I think that you guys, I don't know, if the price is pumping right now, just know that a lot is happening behind the scenes that's enabling that, and don't be surprised when there's a whole lot more coming this week and next week. So, thank you all for everything, and a couple more people showed up. I'll give them a second to maybe step up here, and this is kind of our last closing thoughts. If anybody has last closing thoughts and would like to give us their update, now's your chance. So, yeah, we got Young Jazz. Young Jazz, you want to say hello? Is anybody else? We got other requests? Young Jazz, this is what did you get done this week? What did you get done this week?
Yo. Shout out to Broke AGI, bro. Broke AGI. Bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
Okay.
this is my fucking financial advisor, bro. Berkshire Hathaway, oh my fucking god, it's I don't know what it has to do, but trust me. Anyway, shout out to all the motherfuckers in AI16Z, motherfucker. I made a bag on that. What's it called? Eliza.
Fuck yeah,
Holy.
motherfucker.
No, but I made sure I held a bag. You know, I'm here for the long term. But bro, I don't know. Can you tell me about Broke AGI? What do you think about it? Do you know about it?
Not financial advice. I don't endorse tokens, but it is built on Eliza, so they're cool. They're fine.
Yeah,
I
Broke
hope they win.
AGI, bro. I have like
Yeah.
I have 20K in it or something, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna
Isn't
make.
that Ranch? That's one of our homies. He's cool. I like the devs behind that. I hope
Yeah,
they win.
it's a banger. But nah. Shout out to what I got, bro. What I got done this week is I crashed the fuck out, boys. Crash out coded. shout out to the motherfucking crash outs on Solana, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway,
Yeah.
shout out to you guys. You guys are doing good things. Obviously see you guys everywhere in the trenches, out the trenches. I mean, it's looking good, boys. It's looking good. But anyway, everyone just keep fucking trading. Don't fucking sell, and it's going to be a pretty, very, very special couple of months, I think. Tops in probably at some point. A lot of my friends ask me about crypto, but hey, we're going to make a lot of fucking money this cycle, boys. Shout out to AI16Z, Young Jizzler out, motherfucking crash out, Broke AI16 fucking
Yeah,
Z.
man.
Have a fucking good
Respect
evening,
from the
boys.
trenches.
Have a good evening.
Take care of it.
I'm gonna go scan. the next gem,
Dude,
motherfuckers.
go make some fucking money. Go get that bag. All right,
Exactly.
Sergio, how you doing, Sergio? You're the last one, unless anybody. I think this is it. We'll wrap it up right at the 9 o'clock mark. It's good. Closing
Hello.
thoughts. How
Yes.
you doing? What'd you get done this week?
What I've done this week. I'm sorry for my. I'm from Mexico. My English is not my first language, so if my accent is a little bit rusty, I'm sorry about it. Someone called me a bot. I'm human. What I got done this week, basically, some coding in quantum computing. Well, not quantum computing. Well, I did not get anything done this week. I just want to chime in to say hello to you. I hope I'm speaking to good people, and I just want to tell you that God loves you, and Jesus loves you, and I'm right here for the long run. Thank you.
Oh yeah. God loves, especially now that God is powered by Eliza. Great. Let's see. So we have.
It's not good to play being God. So I just wanted to also, I just want to let you know that, I also wanted to tell you that. And I wish you all success. And as I said before, I hope I'm speaking with good people and you can make the AI good for mankind.
That is the goal. That's definitely the goal. All right, y'all.
Okay, I hope so.
I'm gonna cut it off here because we're at 9 o'clock and it's been 2 hours. We've heard a lot of stand-ups. Some people came at the end. I'm sorry. We're just come back next week. Come back earlier and we'll do this thing. Thank you all for coming. And let's I'm gonna go on stream and we're gonna build all night, I think. And we're gonna, if you have any PRs or any questions or you're like stuck on something, it's kind of an open office hours. I got a few things I'll be doing for sure, but generally I'm there to help you and just like move things along on Discord. Thank you all for coming. Really glad to hear from you. Especially like let's try and get more. I love hearing from all the Eliza teams. It's so fucking cool. But I also really love hearing from people who are not just using our framework. I think, I think there's a lot of room for diversity in this space. There's a lot of other potential stuff, that I mean, look, I could hear people using my framework all day. That's great, but I really want to also lift up the teams that are just doing their own thing too. So we don't have to overemphasize, but if there's anybody who's working on, I don't know, I'd love to have the Zero Bro people here. I'd love to have the people from Dulles here and from these projects, and if they have the time, or somebody from their community coming and giving a report even. I think that it really means a lot to make this about more than just ourselves and to really try and be a rising tide. So thank you all for coming. Keep that in mind. Think about what you're going to get done this week. Think about what you're going to present next Friday and how proud you're going to be of all the shit you got done, and we're just going to accelerate, you know. Thank y'all. Later.
Thanks so much.